From the graphic novel series that Mike Baron calls outstanding and completely original, comes the very first Lucent Premium trading card set, showcasing characters from the book, printed on the thickest stock possible and finished in high-gloss cello laminate. The set of 9 base cards, comprised of 3 separate triptychs, is a must for fans and collectors. And if that's not enough, 1 in 3 and 1 in 10 sets will also randomly receive an additional rare or ultra-rare holographic chase card. Plus, the back of each card features an original canon mini-comic, so you really don't want to miss out. Available only at thelucentcomic.com.
Are you ready? Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Phenomenal.
You can get it jumping. You can get it pumping. You can get it pressing a suit. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long cold Vic.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own. It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating. It could be that smooth toffee ice cream in the center, or that whole delicious golden K-Time taste. Streets.
I'm Danny, and I'm here to call out all you crack pack bitches. You think I don't see you there? I'm the OG of this shit. But you come after the king, you better come correct. I'm Danny, motherfucker. Who are you, crack pack? You smoke crack. You better watch your back.
Welcome everybody back to the show. Another Rising Tide, where we go through 4 comics that I've recently read and see what the hell it's all about. So thank you very much, everyone, for turning up. It's a little too loud, says Cullen. Can we turn it down a bit? No. We're getting loud in here. We're getting crazy. We're reading comic books, if you can believe it. But thank you very much for being here, Cullen. And do see, let me see if I can pull that up. Is that one of my hands? Or is that a different hand? It is one of my hands. Yes. I can tell by the misshapen forms. Cullen loves putting my hands in his avatars. And I'm here all for it. Thank you very much. What is up, everybody? Hope you're well. I'm extremely hot today. 38, so the aircon will be blasting. I apologize if you can hear it. It is what it is. Mr. Mark's Music Obsession came in first. Congratulations to Mark. He's got a new, I think we've got a new champ in town, actually. I think Gary G was on 5 or 6. So I'm going to move that over here and pop him up there. All hail the champ, Mark, who is currently in 7th place. A previous year's champ, Mr. Jeremy Burtz, right behind him. I see Gary G says, hail the rising tide. Hail indeed. We've got Mo Biggs, the golden wrench himself in the house. What's up, Mo? We've got David L. I see Jav Starler. What's up, Jav? So now I have a waking dream. This is Moromi speaking. Now I have a waking dream, fractured mind, and trading card artwork. What is left? Yeah, there weren't many painted death pieces. I was doing waking dream pages, redoing them, but I didn't have time for that on painted death. Who does? But I mean, I consider the trading card to be kind of ancillary to painted death, so let's just count it as that. What's up, Michael? What is up, Felix Huss, the link master? Thank you very much for being here, dropping all my links. Which one will I pick? Of course, the trading cards. Where's that? How can I pin that? There it is. Thank you, Felix. We have Lord Raging Goblin in the house. Down Go Solo. Got Blade is here. Citizen Ronan. Critical Reads. Look at all these fine people. Fine friends of mine. What is he saying? What's up, John? Great to see John's Longbox. I was thanking him earlier for his high praise of the Lucent. He loves the Sumerian timeline stuff, and I do too, John. I'm actually doing the back of Gilgamesh's card this afternoon. We see a little bit of a reunion there of a couple of characters, which is fun. I love that stuff as well. Can't get enough of it. What's up, Michael? Hello. A couple of others. Let's do K Manifesto. H is for Heretic. Did I say Got Blade? I'll say it again. It's fine. Is that one of my hands or a different hand? What kind of tampered degeneracy is this? Not like that, no. Not like that. All right, let me take that down. I had to refresh it to reopen my bloody windows here. Check it out after the sale of the James and Amita card that puts us up to $2,223 US raised from 56 backers and 113 sets sold, which is incredible. And there's still 45 days left in this thing. I would love to get to 200 by the end of it. We'll see how we go when it gets to the point where I can put on PayPal back on. Maybe that might help it out, because I know some people have some credit card issues for some reason. I'm not sure. But yeah, very cool indeed. And of course, this is the page, the original art that went up yesterday. Le Marichal already got 15 bids on it, $118. Very excited about this one. It's going to be bittersweet parting with this one. I really do. There's something about it. I think I just kind of captured his face the way I wanted, his sort of mannerism. The gloopy blood. Mo says one like equals one boat lifted. I like it. Bancroft is a killer, confirmed. He has bloody windows. I don't have bloody windows, but I do have a new spider. It's a daddy longlegs though, which I don't think is technically a spider. It's a different kind of arachnid. I haven't seen Bitey around for a week, and now this upstart daddy, I mean, it's a big daddy longlegs, is sitting out there in his spot, and I'm not having it. So hopefully, does he qualify as Bitey Jr.? Bitey Supplanter? I don't know. I'll take a photo of him later. You guys can judge him and what you think is worthy of such a title. But enough of this nonsense. So a couple of weeks ago, John says, move to a continent with more reasonable spider sizes. Yeah, there was a garden spider out there yesterday that was big. It scared the ladies and the young boy. But I scolded them for killing him because it's a harmless garden spider. I mean, it was pretty big. You know, it was chunky and black. It looked scary. So, you know, we understand. A couple of weeks ago, let me bring this up. Let's bring up the books. A couple of weeks ago, I did the first issue of Huck. And then I thought, you know what? I just want to finish this. I don't expect it's going to be a really involved, complicated plot with, you know, different sides and you know, double agents and everything. And so I thought, oh, I'll just quickly go over this book. It'll be nice. It's a fun little book. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my god. This is in case you're not aware, this is a Mark Miller book. So of course, you know, there's terrorists, there's Russian evil scientists, there's double crossing, there's all sorts of stuff. It's all based around Huck, which Mobig says Huck is basically a Rob Arnold power fantasy. Yeah, kinda. And anyway, just to catch you up, essentially Huck is superhuman in that he's really strong, and he's sort of quasi indestructible as far as we've discovered. You know, he can jump and swim. He's sort of like golden era Superman before he could fly, but I don't know if he can jump over tall buildings or dodge bullets or like hit by a bullet. But his main power, interestingly, is he can find people. And that's sort of the twist on it. And he was brought up to be super helpful and do a good deed every day. So that's sort of the basis of his character. But straight away in the second issue, Mark takes it in a really sort of really adds depth to the whole story here. And it turns out, so I'm just going to spoil this book. I think it's been out for, I don't know, almost 10 years. This is his mother in Siberia back in 1980. And she has some sort of telepathic powers. She can see what a guy is holding on a postcard, you know, under the ocean in a submarine. So she's being tested on or whatever. And then we see another woman here with red hair also many years later, and she's teaching violin to this kid here, and then she does this sort of like power on him and puts him to sleep because she sees something interesting on the news. All right, okay, so now straight away you're thinking, okay, there's more to this than meets the eye. And at the end of the last book, Huck got his identity revealed, essentially. So you're all caught up now. You're all caught up. That's essentially where we're at in the story. So I don't know exactly where it was going from this point. But his superhero name should be the Golden Retriever. Could be. I like Huck though. It's so him. Very nice panels. The art on this is Raphael Albuquerque. That's the artist. And I think, look at me remembering names. The colorist is, I'm going to say Mike or Dave McCaig, and it's really good. And so anyway, now that people know about him, of course, everyone wants him to find, you know, their missing dog or missing husband or missing son. So he goes out and he's like, you know, doing his thing, you know, trying to find people. I like the missing husband turns out to be he just left his wife and started a new family. So he gets the Huck hard stare, kind of like Paddington. I keep meaning to check out Huck. It's definitely worth reading. He has a lot of heart. It's the character is different to all other Mark Miller characters that I've read, in that he's good and nice and not a psycho and super violent. But the world itself is still in the Millerverse, so there is a lot of that as well in it, which is cool and made it fun and, you know, kind of amped up the stakes. Hang on, I got to zoom out again here. It doesn't like it when I zoom in too much. So yeah, straight away, you know, get some bad guys with some big knives. Huck can take them on no problem, sorts them out. And this is a good ending to, I think, the second book. We meet this guy. So now that Huck is famous, he's like, that's my brother. He's just hanging out in a bar in North Carolina. Really cool art. I like the use of the white. It's impactful. With smoldering blue eyes. He does have smoldering blue eyes, just like Huck. A little too blue, if you ask me. That's a great little cover page there. Maybe that is the cover. I don't quite know. I don't know how it works exactly on Global, but that really exemplifies who Huck is as a character. Huck is a good read, says K Manifesto, just in time for the sequel coming out soon. That's why I thought I better finish it, because I saw the same team working on a sequel. I like the use of the white. No shit. Great lighting, says Down Goes Solo. And so he's still looking for people, that he was sort of charged with to find. And in the process of that, so he's done all that. In the process of that, obviously I'm going to skip over a lot of story. Now that he's famous, the politicians want to, get a piece of him and use him. They straight up call him a retard. They're just making fun of him. It's like super cynical. Politicians, not good people in the Miller world. And but his, look, they make him take little photos and stuff. But it's cool. It builds out the world and everything. I got to go through it kind of quickly because there's 163 pages and I'm only up to page 70. So I just want to go to the sort of more important points of the story. But he's had enough of it, and he runs out in his suit. A nice, cool little sequence here. Good on you, Huck. Dressing up nice. I want to get to the good parts. Okay, this is it here. Okay, so this is where on top of this train, he meets his brother and he's like, I've been looking for you for years. Obviously he's been living in secret. So they reconnect and he's like, have you met Mum? So then we go into, that's the next sort of arc of the story. And if you remember back, the redhead in Russia, you start to put it all together. I get called that too, says Down Goes Solo. Mo says Huck should unleash his retard strength on them. Well, I'm gonna leave that hanging there. The cruelest cut. They put a 25% tariff on hugs. He does like hugging. Huck. He does. And this is interesting. So you get a little bit of a, straight after they realize the mother is still alive, you get a little bit of flashback of her escaping Russia, and you get a bit of a sense of where they came from, how it happened. She's obviously very super powered, and she does actually manage to escape, and that's how they ended up in the States. But she's been living in secret ever since. And then the brother is like, now we can go find her because of your superpowers, because he didn't know where she was either. We got Edwin in the house. What's up, Edwin? That is a great drawing. Yeah, the whole book the art is really nice. It's really really well suited. I like it. Huck likes grilled cheese, says K Manifesto. Redhead in Russia with blue eyes again. She does have blue eyes. I'm sure she does. I didn't catch that. Anyway, we'll see her later. She has red hair. Oh, she does have blue eyes. Okay. Oh, yeah, they were. All right. So this actually is important here. They're doing their tests on her. She manages with her telepathy to get inside the head of this researcher who falls in love with her and helps her escape. And she ends up this. I like this scene. He's like, I've been waiting. I've dreamt of this moment, for years and years. He's like, you make me want to vomit. That was cool. And she smashes his head against the wall and escapes. I like that bit. All right, so they're going to go on the hunt for the mother. Get these nice scenes of him saying goodbye to the people in the town. This is sort of the woman that, kind of looks out for him. And this is the woman that he kind of has a crush on at the florist. Although he's completely oblivious, she has a crush on him too. I should check out 8, a sci-fi mini by Raphael Albuquerque. All right, I'll add that to the list. 8. The list grows. Longer and longer. It's so long. It's so long at this point. I showed it to Adam Lawson. He was like, damn. Yeah, I'm never going to read all of them. Mo says, on issue 4, they put Huck on a short bus to get Mo. Thankfully not. Anyways, they're out on the hunt. And they have to, just because Huck is Huck, they see things, as they're driving past, they hear different emergencies on the radio. So they're at the Huck has to help. He's out, carrying giraffes and bears and rescuing people from fires. But anyway, they do make it to the house, and here's a bit of a turn. So if you do want to read Huck and you don't want the spoilers, now is really the time. So maybe mute me or turn me off for 5 minutes. I'll get it all done by in another 5 minutes. So, but if you don't care, read on, because it gets really good. So he's like, "Mom, it's your boys," and she's like, I only had one son." You're like, that's the record scratch moment. And then bang. Now we realize, oh snap, the brother isn't the brother at all. And yeah, so now look, it's safe to come out now, Professor. So now here's the guy, and I believe this guy is the dude that fell in love with her, and now he's back for revenge. So he was the guy that held her captive. Huck has a giant noggin, says Suma. He does. That's maybe why I like him so much. His larger forehead. Look at these great colors. Really nice composition too. This Raphael fella can really make good art. I only had one son. Was Huck born a girl? No, the other son isn't a son at all. He used Huck's powers to track down the mother, and Huck as well. So anyway, it turns out these two aren't even people at all. They're AI robots. As I was saying, like, you think you're going to get a kind of normal story, but it's Mark Miller. So you got like crazy Russian scientist, kind of looks like a Rasputin in Hellboy, and AI killer robots. And these robots were designed specifically to be able to take down Huck and his mother. So they're in trouble. Anyway, they're being kept in this gulag, this Russian facility. The official term is Naukograd, secret from any maps. Anyway, they're stuck behind glass here and they're being taunted. And Huck can't get out, and the mum's sad, and plans are being made. And this, of course, the Russian scientist has plans to use their powers to take over all of Russia. I mean, why couldn't they? It's the Lost Mary boy, maybe. I think Bancroft may have hacked my spell check. If only I could. All right. I got 3 minutes to finish this in case, or 2 minutes before anyone who didn't want spoilers might come back. So anyway, they're sort of just having a bit of a battle of the minds. And Huck is chatting with his mother, and they're all, as you can imagine. I don't want to go into too much, because if you read the story, it's like, it's good storytelling and world building and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, Huck realizes after talking to his mother and finding out her powers. So his powers is finding people. Her powers is making people do what she wants them to do. That's why they have to get locked up, so they can't actually they'd subdue her powers and everything. Please skip over the breastfeeding scene. It doesn't go that way. But because she has the power to force people to do what she wants, he's able to figure out. See, it's kind of like using his brain now. You don't everyone is underestimating Huck. That's the point of it. That he's able to figure out that he can get his mother to tell him to break the glass, and then he can really go dig in, get Super Saiyan with this. Great pages here. I love these panels. Look at the boom. You hear you can hear the sound. You feel like the ground is shaking. Great cartooning too. Just a really stellar page, that one. I remember thinking about that one. Get what with this? I'm not saying it, man. You can say it in the chat. I know what you're thinking. Colors do look great. He's relating this to Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? He's just gonna go like, what is it? Like Planet Hulk. Really, so, like the mom is obviously distressed because he's crushing his hands, but she's like, keep telling me to break the wall. And he ends up doing it and he gets out, but even then out here, like these guys are super formidable. And so she jumps into action. So again, remember that she's trained to contain her, and the fake brother was trained to contain him. So there's a big epic battle coming here. All right, I have. Oh no, I've gone over my deadline. So I'll just. I mean, I don't want to. You can imagine how it's going to sort of end here. He's going to figure out a way. That he does figure out a way how to kill the robots, but also as well. I mean, now Huck is out, and the professor dude, the scientist, thinks he can escape. Obviously, not remembering who Huck is and his specific superpower, he can find anyone. So this was a great scene. They've already left. They escaped like 10 minutes ago on a bus. Huck snaps this lamppost and just throws it into the air. It's great. It was a really cool, funny, clever use of Huck's powers, and it just hits the actual bus that has the dude, and then they can get to him. And all right, again, spoilers. Again, this is just really cleverly written. It was so much more complex and nuanced and subtle than I expected it to be when I started it. But this Russian is like, it doesn't matter, if you send me to jail, I know all these things. I know the science and everything. I'm just going to come back and rebuild bigger and better. So I'll get you eventually. And I know that Huck isn't going to kill me because he's too kind. So what do? The mother tells him to forget everything he knows about science, which, destroys him, obviously. So, yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool ending, really clever. So there you go. You can see he's completely forgotten everything. And it was just a great, extremely well written 6-issue story, like fully contained story with a really cool character. And now he's got his mum, and they go back home. And on top of that, now that he's learned a bit more, one of his last deeds is to tell this woman how special. Oh, it's got so much heart. It really is, compared to the other Mark Miller stuff I've read. No, it really is a cool little book. I'm glad I read it because there is a sequel coming out in I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but they're working on it. So Mark Miller announced it, same team and everything. So yes, what a fine day for science. It is indeed. So there you go. And Huck knows special. He does. Oh no, now he's gonna die. I hope not. Look, he's got he even found his mum's missing kitten. Oh, good on you, Huck. You can read the whole thing over on Global Comics and enjoy. Do read it. Obviously, like I told you what happens in the story, but it's definitely worth going back and reading and getting all the fine nuances and everything. And the art is superb as well. Now, the next one, I won't be able to. Why is it going forward so far? Let me go back to the beginning. I won't. Damn it. 2. I won't be able to spoil because I only read the first issue. Yes, continue reading. It's called Fear Agent. Now, I don't remember who recommended this one to me. It could have been Dango Solo. He seems to be a big fan. It also could have been Jasper, but it's my first ever Rick Remender book, I think, as far as I'm aware. I knew nothing about it going into it, but straight away I said, oh, cool, it's like a action adventure set in space with aliens. All right, so, I like that stuff. Sumo Thori says, love Fear Agent, so does Kane Manifesto. Mo says, Huck also found Nugget. Unfortunately, he also loved him and squeezed him. Oh no, poor Nugget. Could be, yeah. Well, I think it might have been you, but I know. Actually, no. Jasper probably recommended to me the different. I can't remember actually, but yeah. This was a lot of fun, and yeah, straight away from the very first page, you know, I love the writing, like how he's using sort of really weird space kind of crazy terms and everything. You know, I'm going to the shim races and everything. And so you starts off with just this little this page with this alien creature who goes to this big space station and realizes no one's there, and he's just angry because he can't get his glorg damned chili snacks. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Jake there. I think that's the kind of writing he would do as well. Anyway, he gets eaten straight away. And just a little bit of a tone setting scene before we get started and meet the hero. So this is him here. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm sure you guys who have read it will know him. He is a fear agent who are people that hunt down aliens. And there's it seems like there's some kind of class to aliens, different kinds of intelligence, or like there's A, B, C, D, and lower. I'm just going off what I read on this first issue. So you guys probably know a lot more than I do. Suma says, I don't bother recommending anything to Bancroft. He'll never see. And Mo says, yeah, I recommend A Christmas Story to Bancroft. We all know how that went. So we don't know what he's doing, but straight away he comes up to this cave and he gets into a fight with these primates who are kind of a bit, all they do is growl and oof, and they're kind of like cavemen. But he manages to fight most of them off. And, after a little bit of a struggle, manages to get into the cave. And we get, in that whole thing, we get a little bit of a sense of he's a fighter, who he is. He's got a bit of a kind of like Han Solo type, quick wit sort of personality. And you can see there he's got the classic American jawline, nuclear backpack. Reminds me of Clint Stoker's Fatal. Yeah, a little bit in the sense that there's aliens everywhere, and it's an adventure story. Sumo read it on Comixology. What's up, Brian? Comixology. Now that's taking me back. Anyway, so you can see from these primates, he's not really expecting much. Apparently, the mission we find out is they've been heading into town and stealing sophisticated machinery. So he's here to get the machinery back and pretty much investigate. And that's how he gets paid, essentially. But then we realize, oh, look, the monkeys have been building a rocket ship. So, straight away. And look, they're even there. They're actually working on it and everything. So straight away, something is up. Fantastic page, by the way. I didn't catch who the artist was on this. I could probably go and check. Just very quickly, if it's going to let me. It is Moore. That is Tony Moore. Okay, there you go. Now is it going to let me go back? It is. It's the same artist as early Walking Dead. Oh, there you go. I like your stuff. Yeah, the art is really good. He does excellent cartooning in the faces and the detail and everything, the action. I have no qualms about it, but great pages, good coloring too. So straight away is like, okay, there's something going on here, and that these things are back attacking him, and they seem to be smarter than what he expected them to be. He's using some like freezing thing through his backpack. And he accidentally gets his arm frozen. So now he's got to be careful. So now he can't really fight them, because if he does and smashes his arm could, smash into a million pieces or something, and that would be a bad thing. So he's got to kind of retreat, and then you find out, okay, it's this thing. This brain giant Krang thing is the creature, the alien that's controlling them. And straight away it starts to control him, and it's like, I like this bit. It's like, oh, pick up a rock and bash it into my skull. So he's got to like try and fight this. And it's an A-class intelligence. So I'm kind of learning these things as we go. So he's got to get his helmet on to be able to stop the mind control. You know, unfortunately, the primates don't have that technology. The giant Krang makes a hasty escape to his rocket, so he's got to stop it, because if it takes all the machinery off planet, then he doesn't get paid. But things just start escalating. The primates are still attacking him, and they're growing and growing in number. So he ends up just saying, screw it. And he just decides to blow the whole thing up. So at least they don't escape with the tech. And he does that. And that's sort of, now in the wreckage, we see it. And you get that sort of a sense of who he is. So he says, my name is Heath Huston. I'm an alien exterminator. Last of a small band of Texas ass stompers known as fear agents. Right now, I'm standing on what some would describe as a crime scene. I'm not authorized by any means to exterminate a Class A life form. But the way I look at it, if the law didn't see it, I didn't do it. And that's it. I thought that was great. I had a lot of fun reading this. I look forward to reading more. It's a really cool setup. I'd heard of Fear Agent, but I didn't know anything about it. And yeah, apparently there's quite a lot of it in this. Just this is volume 1 by itself. Look, there's like 260 pages. So I probably won't do another thing on just one issue. I might try and knock out a little run of it or something like that. But yeah, cool. So thank you to whoever recommended me. Probably Dango Solo. Not quite a Blade Runner. No. What's up, Jasper? Quitter. That's a lot of reading. Mo was writing down all the important things that happened in the stream so far. Yes. Old Bitey has been replaced by Daddy Longlegs. Bancroft has named Daddy Longrod. It is a good name for it. He's a big one. He's a big boy. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. All right. Okay, I gotta steal myself for this one. Oh my god. The Metabarons, Part 2, Honorata. I'm going to call it Honorata. I'm not going to pronounce the H. It just seems right to me. It's been a long, long time since I read Metabarons. Probably over 10 years. And I don't remember how much I read of it originally. I don't think I read the whole thing. But I think I remembered this one, but I didn't remember just exactly how wild this book is. This book is... These guys were mad. These guys were absolute mad lads. Speaking of a mad lad, Sumo Thori gifting 5 memberships, Smiling Bandito, John Douglas, Vera Kuzaki, Big Daddy Filth, and Daniel Blake. We're all very happy that Big Daddy Filth is finally a member. Everyone is hailing and congratulating Big Daddy Filth. Jasper says, never cracked Fear Agent. Check out Deadly Class and Punisher. I remember. Is Deadly Class a Punisher book, or is that its own book? I'll put it on the list here. I'm trying to carve my niche by not reading Marvel and DC stuff. But that was cool. Fear Agent was cool. I liked it. I put on Deadly Class. Every time I do, I feel like I'm giving you a big undeserved F you. No, we're trying to, each one is we're getting closer. That's the point. And Mo recognizes the appropriate and true sentiment behind it. Thank you, Mo. Using words I can't. This one is for you, Sumo.
You little ripper!
Thank you very much. All right. So, if you don't remember, in the first book, we met Othen Van Salza, how he became the big Baron and with all his metabaronic weapons, how he lost his junk and just became a kind of crazy loner, essentially. And in honor of that, Gary G also gifting 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Gary. James Murphy, John Branson, William F., Dark Gift Comics, and Carl Griffin. Good old Carl. Mr. Griffin. Trying is all we can do. We are so happy that finally Carl Griffin is among us in the Bogan ranks. Thank you very much to Gary G. You're helping keep the lights on. This is all going towards the great Rod Looper as he finishes out his work on Fractured Mind.
Well, cheers, big ears.
Where's my Johnson? That guy exactly. Othen Van Salza. And as all Metabarons book starts, we start with the two little weird robots telling their story about, this and that. Get a bit of an intro into the world. They talk. They make C-3PO and R2-D2 look like manly men. They're very, you just got to read it. I mean, it is weird, but that's what you expect from these books. Everything is kind of weird. We get a little bit of a glimpse of the current Metabaron at work, kicking butt, cashing checks, taking names, all that stuff, doing his interphasing stuff. But really, this story is, as you can see here, these two robots. So this robot here is telling this robot the story of the Metabarons, essentially. And that's where we started with the first one. That's where we're continuing on. Now we're getting to Honorata, which is, we will find out who she is in a moment. I think wow, Michael. Oh my God. Hang on a sec.
Absolute mad lad.
Damn. Thank you very much. Michael just gifted 10 memberships. And you can see Mo right there, right there in the middle. Stephen Tonch, Connor, Michael, Tubies, Stiga, Bullrush, Mr. Wombat, I like that name, Rob Keno, Paul Taylor, and Peyton, all new members. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tubies is back, and Mr. Wombat. Unbelievable. Wow, thank you. Actually, 10 memberships, you get another one.
Lee, he's putting my kids through college.
Thank you very much. When was this published? Asked Jasper. I'm going to say 1981. How about that for a guess? I don't know the exact. I think it's early 80s. It was after Star Wars. I'm pretty sure. At least Mr. Wombat sounds like he'd be a bogan. Exactly. What's up, Faux Peasy over on Rumble? 2Bs with Timmy is better than 2Bs without Timmy. Exactly, Gary G. I do need more chopper clips. I need to go on a hunt for more. That's a good point. I'm going to do that for next stream. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I said, and YouTube, there is a little bit of artistic depiction of nudity in this book. It is not for titillation services. It is purely in the pursuit of artistic beauty and storytelling that falls within your community guidelines, I'll have you know. So I'm just going to make that little disclaimer here. It is a European book. So here's Othon just, in all his castrated glory, killing robots and training. But he's whiling away his days with his two concubines. That's his two concubines, and that's their father. And they're all servant slaves, and they all adore him. And they do anything for him, essentially. And he's just sitting here watching the galactic news, and he's seeing the long-awaited miracle. Finally, the two empresses have finally conceived of, the emperor and empress have finally conceived a child. Or is it the two? One of the empresses. Okay, there are two women empresses. That's funny. I didn't pick that up. Tasteful nudes, exactly. So generous with the clips, says Sumo. Almost like they didn't cost nothing. I gotta find them. I gotta cut them. And they finally conceived a child. So he's like, oh, that's a dangerous thing. That child is going to be the target of pirates. And it's some weird Siamese child. It's going to be the future Janus Jana Empress, future master of the galaxy. All right, if you say so. And then they're trying to transport it from the science world where it was created, fertilized, to the Emperor's world. But they run into this planet that's actually not a planet. It's a giant pirate ship disguised as a planet, and like 100,000 pirate ships come out to attack it. So it's the biggest space battle ever seen. And the empresses, is it the Imperial Majesties? Let's just say that they put a call out to the whole galaxy to come defend their unborn baby in the world. I don't know what this is about. He's like, my instinct will guide this ship. All right. I mean, this looks like the joystick up here. I don't know what's going on down here. And the ship itself is quite phallic. Now, remember, Hodorowski is the guy who hired Geiger to work on the Dune adaptation, if you remember. So this was happening all around. I think he does, but he doesn't have a D because he got chopped off. So I guess he's got like his own prosthetic one that he steers with. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. This book is wild. It is madness. It's madness personified. Anyway, he steers right to the Imperial Majesty's place. He's somehow able to get past all of their defenses, and they're just completely shocked. And they're like, how did you even get here? And he's like, silence. And he just kills all of them because he's the great Baron. And he walks right through. He bores a hole in their door, and he walks right up to them and says, allow me to lead the charge against the pirates, and I will get back your child. And that's essentially pretty much what he does. He goes in there and he uses asteroids and kills all the pirates. It's crazy and great. But then on the way back, the Imperials are like, you take the rear now. We will deliver the child back. He's like, F that. He goes in, kidnap the child himself. And look at this, even this. Like, this is the artist is Juan Jimenez. So here's him in the spaceship flying into where the child is kept. I don't know. Are you guys seeing anything? I'm seeing something, but pass your own judgment. I don't know. Up to you. All right. So continuing on, he does end up getting the fetus it's called the egg. You take the rear now. Don't mind if I do. What do you think that looks like? Well, look, I'll let your imagination. Nothing to see here. It's just a spaceship. It's just a two spaceship docking. Mind out of the gutter. You can't keep your mind out of the gutter in this book. Anyway, so he does deliver the egg, and the Imperial Majesties grant him the title of Metabaron. So he's the greatest baron of all the barons. And the Emperor says, I'll give you any gift you want. And he's like, you know what I want, but you can't gift it to me because he's lost his junk. He wants a son to, have an heir to his kingdom that he's building. But he says, you can't get that to me. So anyway, he goes back, to his planet. He's riding look, he's so sad, riding his horse. He's hanging out with his concubines. And then they're like, your gift has arrived. He's like, I don't want it. He's like, all right, I'll tell it to go away. But the gift finds its way in itself. He's like, what the hell? All right, now the next pages I might have to skip pretty quickly because they do get a little bit nude. I guess Bancroft is our resident docking expert. So anyway, the gift is a whore priestess of the Shabda Oud. And I'm just going to zoom out here and just go kind of quickly on it. So there you go. There's the whore priestess. Actually, if I zoom in down here, it should be... there we go. You kind of see her down there. the whore priestess, and a little bit of anyway. She does this spell on him, and he kind of falls in love with her straight away. She does this kind of like mind meld thing, eye meld, and tells his existing concubines to get the hell out. I got a new one now. And I'm just trying to see what I can show here. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, my love, I can't please you. Look at what's there instead of my junk. And she's like, destiny has made a mockery of me. But she has other plans. Don't you worry about it. So she's like, don't worry, my love. He's like, I'm the last of the Von Salzers. Like, no, you won't be. Look, I'll take a drop of your blood. All right, then I don't know if I can show the next page. Yeah. We saw nothing, says D-Rail. I'm trying to, put the stick shift back on. I know, right? At least give her something to do. What's up, Joe? We got Joe Sontag in the chat. Could be coming to your book next, just after we finish this mad book, The Metabarons. All right. Okay, so that is him taking that blood and inserting it into her womb. I don't think I need to say much more than that, but there is a kind of a picture of them together. I don't think I'm going to move it though, because we're getting very, very close to the limits of my artistic, friendly, guideline friendly artistry limits here. So I'll just skip on to the next page, and it does sort of skip forward. So it happened. He was able to inseminate her with a drop of blood, essentially. And now we're skipping forward. She's about to give birth, and her slave, who's the father of his two concubines, is like, they've become jealous and they've taken your new wife to the top of the tower. So they want to kill her because they think she's a witch that's bewitched him. Hang on, I can zoom out now. Yeah, they want to throw her off a tower and themselves as well, to end the hold that they have over him. So he grabs his gun, rushes up there, and no, it's too late. They jump off. Often, I love you. And he has to time it perfectly, and he shoots her right in the baby. And you're like, what the hell? But then, look, the two concubines fall to their death, but the wife stays floating. And you're like, what the hell is going on? So they smash against the thing. And he's like, I shot you with a dart that makes you float, because he has that. Because, he's the great Othen Van Salza. And she floats. So can I show that? I don't think I could show the next page. Let me describe it for you. The epithite, which is the thing that makes her float, is affecting her organic system, triggering a delivery. Yeah, right in the baby. So I think I'm just gonna, maybe I'll be quick about it. There you go. Whoa. Yeah. So the baby is born right there, floating in the air. Anyway, he takes a little spaceship out there. He grabs her, saved her. Everything's good. He's the slave has hung himself out of shame. The baby is born, and now he's saying, after this incident, no one on this planet will be able to enter the Let me describe it for you. Another feral bush pig moment. No one is able to enter his temple anymore. Just robots and his wife after this betrayal. But anyway, he's got his baby now. All right, now things can calm down. He's got his robots. He's got his wife. No, things can't calm down, because now the baby starts floating. And it's like, oh my God. And then what do you think his response is to his baby floating? He's like, oh, I guess this is just like another, he's kind of disabled. His baby's has this weird affliction. No, he grabs a knife and he's like, I must kill it, because it will never be able to fight like a warrior, because it'll have nothing to, it won't be able to stand on solid ground. You're like, oh, okay. Whew. All right. So she does manage to save the baby from being killed, and she puts metal things on his ankles to keep him on the ground, but is like, he'll never walk right. He'll never be a great warrior. She ends up convincing him that she's going to take him away until the age of 7 and train him. That is an ugly baby. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to like make you sympathetic for the baby, you know. She's going to train him to be a warrior in her Shabadoo ways, her whore priestess ways, and then when he comes back, well, you'll see. Spoiler alert, there's a pretty savage birth in Alien Romulus. Strong recommend. It is wild. And then Mo says, and we shall name him Huck. No, this isn't the beginning. Why is she such a effing hoe? Look, it is what it is. Yeah, it's the Shabbat. It's how she was raised. These were great. I like these. These are little, what are these things called? These, I don't know. Carnivorous eodactyls. Oh, that was just a really cool little breather from this insanity. Anyway, they managed to escape them, and man, this book is weird. I loved it though. I love it, but it's weird. Yeah, so she takes him off into these icy crystal mountains where these hairy toads come in to live off their warmth, and they eat them. And then when he comes of age, he has to kill his best friend, hairy toad, to prove that he is a warrior. I mean, he just keeps going. She submits him to like crazy pain resistance things. You know, you can't. It's just nonstop like training and fighting. He finally bests her, and it's the only moment of affection that he ever gets from her in his entire childhood. Anyway, it's time to come back. They capture a e-dactyl and fly it back to the Baron. And even after all that, the Baron is like, my love, I've missed you so. Yeah, but now he's like, now it's time to test my son. So he has to fight this thing. And if the son dies, the Baron will kill himself. And if the son lives, he will become the next Metabaron, essentially. It's a very harsh childhood. Anyway, so the kid he has to essentially touch the button on the front of this machine, and that'll self-destruct it. So he has to be able to get up there. But mind you, he's all weighed down because if he takes off his metal, he floats and everything. So anyway, and after every hour that they fight, a new arm will grow on the robot. So he ends up fighting an 8-armed machine that is about to kill him, but he uses his wits and he takes off his metal and he starts floating around. So he uses the floating to be able to get in and disable the thing and blow it up. And the Baron is like, he didn't win, he cheated. She's like, no, you said if you can blow it up, he'll live. And he's like, I have to stand by my word. And now it gets harsh. You thought that was fine. No. So now the last test, he's beaten the thing, but the final test is pain resistance. So he puts the child in this machine that's going to stick things in it. So if you read Dune, you'd see like he's taking a lot of similar things from that. So essentially he has to resist the pain, but the son is so kind of out to prove himself. He doesn't even want the machine to stop. So it just keeps crushing and crushing and crushing until it fully crushes his feet into nothing. So that's when the Metabaron accepts him as his heir and his new Baron and gives him some metal feet. And it's like, oh, finally, our family can be together again. That's like, all right. Yeah. That was me when I got my feet measured as a kid at the shoe store. I mean, this book is crazy. And I don't remember that part. So probably I didn't actually read that much of the Metabarons, it turns out. This is craziness. What is just the sound effect? Where is it? Thump. Yeah. It's nuts. Yeah, so that's the second Metabaron. Put the crack bite down. It is very intense, but the artwork is gorgeous. And Hodorowski, it is a really good story. As crazy as it is a really good story, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading more. And because I think it's just going to get even more bizarre and nuts. Because I know from the first one that essentially each new son has to have a piece of their body destroyed and then have a prosthetic attached to it. And then that son has to grow up and kill the previous Baron to become the Metabaron. That's how it works. So I'm guessing it's going to be pretty intense. Mo says, Mama Baron said they were his magic feet. Said they'd take him anywhere. Oh, that one was something else. Cranberry says, yeah, wait until the 3rd and 4th. I'm going to give myself a month, I think, to come down off this. Yeah, all this happened because the Dune movie never took off. Yeah, and he was like, well, screw these guys. I'm going to make my own Dune, and it's going to be even crazier. Yeah, kid's going to kick like a mule. Well, he better. He's going to need to. All right, so that was Metabarons. Now I've got to stop sharing the screen because I got to share. I saved myself a PDF here, a special PDF of a book that has just come out. Now I know a lot of you probably haven't read it because it is still in fulfillment. So I'm going to do my best to do a non-spoiler kind of breakdown review of Reaper Destroyer, the new book by this fella right here. Where is he? I saw him. He's driving. Mr. Joem Sontag. He was very nice to send me a digital copy so that I could look at it. And I might even be able to make a short out of it, which would be really cool. But again, I know that a lot of people haven't read it. So I've taken 15 pages out of I think it's a 48-page book. It's quite a lot. There's quite a lot. So you know, I'm not, and a lot of these pages have been shown anyway. So I'm not going to spoil the story. I'm just going to sort of break down my initial thoughts on it, the who's, the what's, and everything, and what it's about, and what sort of I felt like when I was reading it. And so I picked up Spawn off the shelf in 91, 92, and straight away you can. I mean, we know Joe is a big Spawn fan. We know he's a fan of this style of book. And I remember he said recently that he was, after this, he's going to go back to doing like just 22-page releases, try and get them out quicker. And I said to him, that is perfect for this sort of story. So it really is that way of the way of storytelling, what is in here, the art style, obviously. So it's him, Matt Banning, Joe Weems. There's a whole bunch of other actually inkers. I can't remember all of them. I don't have them saved here, but yeah, no, the art is really, really good throughout, which is a testament to the fact that he had to go to so many different artists to get the thing done. And it sort of starts, what the word is in media res, is in, it's like you're in the middle of a fight as it starts, and it kind of hits you like a whirlwind, because you get a sense like he's got a lot of characters in this book, and he wants to let you know who they all are straight away. So at the first I was like, this could be a little bit overwhelming, and you're just kind of reading it in the middle of a fight scene. But it does, about, I don't know, Matt, maybe about a third of the way through the book, it sort of steps back, slows down, and you really start to get a sense of who all the characters are and the world. And you get it. Yeah, it's a much easier to follow than, it's sort of like, when you first start watching a TV show and you don't know what's happening straight away. It's kind of like that when you first start reading it, but it does kind of slow down and get into it. So straight away, we're with the Reaper Destroyer character fighting this thing here. And you get that classic shot. I think everyone knows this one here. And you learn that, so essentially, this isn't one guy. This is two guys. So there's two people, two entities inside Reaper Destroyer. You've got the main guy, Matt. That's his body, and he doesn't know what the hell is happening. And this has been happening for a while now. He's got a sort of like a state of amnesia. He doesn't quite know what's going on or anything, but he's having to fight all these creatures that keep coming after him. And he's sort of being spurred on by this other entity that's in there, and they're constantly having this dialogue between each other. That's essentially the setup. I didn't know that going in. I'm sure maybe Joe told me about that long ago and I'd since forgotten it. But that's essentially the sort of the setup as you go into it. And they have this really cool fight where these beings sort of like distract each other and power up and everything. I'm just going to show off a little bit of the art here. And yeah, they really did a fantastic job. Oh, and Kyle Ritter is on the colors on this, which is extra cool. And K Manifesto just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Hey, Justice for Cases by Mix. I saw it. JG, John Mosman, TJ Brochel, Yaqueen Gruapera, Hugh Bushybrow. All gifted memberships. None are familiar faces to me, but I'm thankful that they're members nonetheless. I hope we haven't restarted a new clock or something. We were hoping to get, look at this, K Manifesto here. There's Henry Bemis. There's, of course, Mo Biggs, Admiral Wackass. Yeah, well, thank you nonetheless, K Manifesto. And we'll give you one of these.
You little ripper!
Thank you. YouTube needs to let people super chat me directly, says Mo Biggs. I know, right? Exactly. All right, let me take that down. Yeah, I'm not spoiling it, Lord Raging Goblin, because I know a lot of people haven't gotten it yet. Most of the pages I'm showing, Joe has already showed, and I'm not going to say really what happens. I'm just going to sort of give my impression of the events and who they are and what I think about it. So. Yeah. Fighting this creature here, and you find out that okay, this entity, which we find out his name is Apophos. I'm sorry, John Taylor, probably slaughtering that. So the one who talks with the red letters, you get a sense like okay, he knows a lot, and he's just not telling Matt about it. He's actually sort of possessing Matt's body, and he can only survive inside this suit. Anyway, he can kick some major butt, and he does. And so you get a sense like, all right, he understands the true nature of what this suit is and potentially what power it can be. Obviously, as the readers, we don't know that yet. But you get a sense of, okay, there's lots of different players in this game or whatever it is. And now we get a feeling, okay, there's demons. They're in a city. Ancient forces coming in again. Like I said, in media res, you start right in the middle of a fight, so it's kind of like you're getting bounced around as well. And then at the end of that page, we see this drone spy here, checking him out, and we see he says, "Is that you, Victor?" So, like I said, you get a lot of people kind of thrown at you right in the first, I'd say, 8 pages. Peyton says, how did I get a gifted sub? I like art. I like the art, but don't remember subbing. Lol. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but congratulations. And yeah. YouTube is weird. We don't know, but welcome and thank you for being here and congratulations. Mo says it's some sort of YouTube conspiracy. There's people here in the chat every day and they don't get gifts. So Mo says this dynamic reminded Bancroft of how Rod possessed his body in a manner of speaking. Well, we won't go into that. So when this guy, who I can't remember his name, starts with A. I just don't want to say it wrong again. When he took full control of the body and the suit, Matt. I think it's Matt. I hope it's Matt. Let me scroll back up here. I'm pretty sure it is Matt. Yes, his name is Matt. Good. He went down into this realm, like his soul, his mind, his body, like what he went down into this realm where there's this horned beast and he's being haunted by these things. So yeah, there's obviously a lot that we don't know yet, and it's pretty rich and layered. And we find a little bit about that later. But Matt clearly doesn't really remember or know what any of this stuff is at this point. And then you see them, like, at some point he does wake back up, and they have, again, they're constantly having this back and forth, the two people in the suit with each other over what's happening. And the sort of more experienced entity doesn't want to tell Matt essentially what's going on. I'm not spoiling it for you, Lantern. I'm just sort of giving, this is sort of like a more expanded breakdown of the setup of the book. I've only got 15 or so pages here. So I mean, if you don't want to listen, don't listen. If you want to know, if you want to see everything 100% fresh, go for it. I'm just sort of giving my thoughts on it and who the people are. So we mentioned Victor earlier. Victor seems to me to be the big kind of bad guy on Earth, on the earthly realm plane thing. But he has like hints that he is some kind of ancient power himself. So he's doing work in Antarctica, and he's hired this character here called Chaos, who's, what does he call it? The most skilled assassin he's ever encountered. So this is Victor here on the right. And he's like the richest guy in the world. And, he runs this big corporation, and he's got his sort of nefarious things. I guess he's sort of a bit like Ozymandias, or that, whatever that is, in The Watchmen, if I've remembered that correctly, which I probably haven't. But anyway, he says in Antarctica, there's this female creature demon thing that they've had locked up for however bloody long, who he wants to let loose on the Earth. I'm not really going to go into much more about why any of this is happening and what he's doing, but that's sort of essentially what he's up to in this book. And we already know that he's spying on the Reaper Destroyer characters, so there's it's connecting there. Earthly realm plane thing. No need to remind everyone that Bancroft is a writer. yeah, you get it. You understand it all. So back in New York, he's still fighting off these. They just seem to be constantly fighting off these demons that keep getting sent to them. Presumably through Victor, although this time now they're actually hunting one, and they come across this one called the Necro Mimic, which is a big tangly, tentacly creature here that is way above one of these guys' power levels, but not necessarily other. I wanted to show that because there's a cool. I'll have to show that later. Okay, so anyway, in between all these pages, there's tons of fighting and all sorts of cool stuff and reveals. Female creature demon thing. Yes. You can put that quote on the box if you want, Joe. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much into what happens with these two. Again, something you should probably read. Oh yeah, these were cool. I like these. Might be one of my favorite part of the book. So down where he's at, he's got these sirens, and they've been guarding essentially what's locked up in here, that demon chick thing. And they're these three very horny, very violent chicks, essentially. Kind of like Witcher-inspired sirens here. And I just thought they were cool. So they're like, he calls them his pets. This is Victor. I will quote. Admiral says, would, even if you end up like this, he's like, it'd be worth it. There's 3 of them too. No kissing. Yeah. They just have these black faces with red eyes. Oh, they're really cool. I thought that was a really good addition to the story. It's all sort of like that, a lot of demon, a lot of reinterpreting of mythologies and stuff like that. And again, the art is cracking. I just had to show this page. It's so epic. I'm darkness. I'm death. I'm the end. The slayer of angels and the executioner of the divine. That's his name there. Apophis. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that. I hope it's right. And there we get to see his rad death scythe, which is super cool. Yeah. So essentially, there's a lot more to this Reaper Destroyer character than we've seen so far, and I think it's going to get pretty berserk. It's sort of the trajectory of this book. We're getting towards the end now, so I'm not going to show much more than this, but essentially that's Victor making an attempt to summon the deadly demon woman back to life. And we remember Matt is down in the nether realm, and he finds this. The sorrows call to you to embrace your destiny. The time has come. And he's got this. He's got to take this crazy looking sword here. Now we don't really know what is happening here, so I don't really even consider it a spoiler, because we don't know what this is going to do. We don't know his connection yet to anything. But essentially, as you can tell, there's a big world that Joe's put together here. Lots of different players, lots of different power levels and sets. But I really wanted to show that. Yeah, it's really exactly what I was kind of hoping it would be, what I imagined it would be. And if you're into these crazy 90s books like Spawn, where you've got hell and history and crazy powers and really cool looking outfits and everything, you're gonna love this book. It is still available, and it's actually closing down soon. He's got a whopping 1,265 backers, which is insane. Sitting on 74,000 US, which, Joe, I don't know if you know that. That's almost $120,000 days. So, yeah. And we're actually going to be closing this one out in 2 weeks' time. So on this stream in 2 weeks' time, we will be closing out Reaper Destroyer. Hopefully a lot of you will have gotten your books. I've shown you a little bit of a sneaky peeky of some of the events that take place, but yeah, make sure when you get it, you'll get the full story. You're able to see everything that happened in it. Yeah, I do hope you get it. The pages are wild. Can't wait to see where they take this book. And yeah, I can't wait for more of these to come out, because he's going to do them quicker, like shorter books, because this was, I think, 48 pages. How many backers is that in American? Oh, at least, at least 2,000. Adam Lawson's in the house. Says Fear Agent is so good and Huck is incredible. Well, I finished Huck, getting ready for the sequel, and I just started Fear Agent, only the first issue. Huck was great. A lot of people really recommending Fear Agent. So when's the second one launching? You're gonna have to ask this man right here. Closing on the 15th of Feb, which is his birthday. Oh. Those were good times. Yeah, the launch of this book was epic. Got a ton of cool covers on this. The Dal Keown, Bat Banning. That's Joe's with Bat Banning and colors by Dave Kemp. Yeah, go grab it while you still can. Apex says, I backed Reaper Destroyer 3 times. Yeah, fantastic. Support indies. And let's see more of these. He says issue 2 launching in May sometime. Amazing. Amazing. All right. That is a lot of talking. I talked straight for about an hour and 20 minutes. That is insane. I have to now go have lunch, I think, and not say anything for the rest of the day. Thank you very much to everyone who hung out. On your way out, go back a trading card set. Why not? Let's get to 115 back. And if you are an original art collector, La Marichelle is there. It is live. You can get all the links over at thelucentcomic.com. Have you read Moore's run on Swamp Thing? I have not read that one, but my list is so long, I'll never get through it. It's crazy. That's going to be it for me for a few days. I will see you next week for the art share. In the meantime, I'll put up some shorts. I'll put up some videos. And go out and enjoy some comics. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.